Hey everyone, in this video I'm going to discuss how you guys can get an assistantship even before you land in the country that you're going into. Okay, so I'm going to split this video into two sections. Mainly it's going to be research assistantships and then teaching assistantships and other on-campus jobs. They're very similar. Okay, so let's begin with research assistantships. So how are you guys going to land an RA-ship even before you arrive? All right, the key is of course to plan and well in advance, right? So again, let's take the example of fall 23, right? So say you're going for the September 2023 intake. If you are, then you need to start contacting people by, let's say, Jan, Feb, March, basically after you get your admit and you've selected your university. So this will be approximately April 2023, right? You need to start contacting people then. Now, the traditional route that a lot of students will take is that they will email professors to ask for an RA-ship before they land. This is not a good idea because everyone will do this and professors will largely ignore you unless they actually know you, right? Because you can't really blame them. They get like a ton of emails and it's really hard to go through all of those emails, right? So what you gotta do is you gotta take the side route. And how you do that is essentially you email the PhD students that are working under this professor. So what you do is you find one or two labs that you're interested in at the university that you're going to, and then you do a little bit of research on the lab, figure out who's a professor, what kind of work are they doing, what kind of current projects are ongoing, and then mainly who are the PhD students that are in that lab. And then you reach out to them via email or via LinkedIn, and then you tell them, hey, I'm interested in this research. I have a little bit of background in the similar work. Maybe you can talk about some of the skills that you can provide. And then you ask them whether they'd be willing to meet with you to discuss their work. And because you'd be really excited to learn. And then you're going to meet with them via Zoom, whatever platform they wish. And then you talk to them a little bit more about their work. And then at the end of the call, you ask whether they're going to have an assistantship available, right? Now, a lot of the PhD students, they understand how this is going to work if it's not their first time. Then they'll know that you're contacting them for an RA-ship, which means that you have to highlight your major skills and sort of why you're interested in this research in your first communication, in your first email or LinkedIn note, right? So that they can sort of pick the best students and then only reach out to those particular students. So you ask them at the end of that call whether they have an RA-ship position available, and they will tell you yes or no for the fall semester. Now that's not enough, right? The reason why you have to do this early is because in a lot of cases, labs won't directly accept you for an RA-ship, especially if it's a competitive lab, without understanding what you can bring to the table, right? This means that they're gonna have like a trial project for you. Here's the advantage of contacting them early. So if you contact them around April or May, then you have like most of summer or like all of summer to work on this trial project. Usually the trial project is going to be online. If it's possible to do a project online, then it's going to be done online. And then if they like the work that you're doing, then they'll be able to offer you an RA-ship, and then bam, you have an RA-ship even before you land in the US. So this is actually from personal experience as well. Not only I know some people that have done this before, but I'm also doing the same thing to get myself an RA-ship for the fall semester. So I know this works. Hope you guys are enjoying the video so far. If you like the content, then please consider subscribing because I have a ton of international graduate student, master's, PhD program related information up on my channel. All right, so the second part of this video is about teaching assistantships and other on-campus jobs. Now, these are a little bit more tricky because they are not conducted by any students or professors or basically anyone like that. Teaching assistantships for a particular course, basically professor will tell the department, say, okay, I need 1 TA or 2 TA or 3 TAs or whatever. And then they will tell the department sort of what kind of skills they're looking for in a TA and what knowledge is expected of the students for this particular course. And then the department will put up a posting on your guys' university's internal websites and then talk about what kind of skills are required, how many hours, what's the pay, what the course is, who's the professor, and all that, right? So if you reach out to the professor, it might not always work, especially if they don't know you. If you're a new student and stuff, they don't know you, right? But if you see these postings in your internal websites, then you can directly apply and get yourself a teaching assistantship. This is a little bit more tricky because then you'd be competing with all of these other students that are also currently in their program, maybe heading to their third semester or something, and are also applying for teaching assistantships. So the way to get into this teaching assistantship is to do two things. First, figure out what kind of courses are desperately looking for teaching assistants, right? So if a posting has been up for like weeks, then you know that they're desperately looking for someone, right? Alternatively, don't just stick to programs in your own stream. I'll give you an example. One of my seniors, he came into this robotics program. However, he got himself a TA-ship in his first semester for a thermodynamics undergraduate course. How did he do that? Essentially, nobody was applying for this post and he had thermodynamics knowledge and therefore he was able to land it, right? So that's the first way. And the second way is to figure out which specific programs, not courses, but specific programs typically hire a lot of teaching assistants, right? So at Penn, we have something called an online MCIT program, which is sort of like the online Masters in Computer Science program for students around the world. And they're always looking for teaching assistants because there are gonna be students from everywhere. There's gonna be a lot of office hours required. And because it's a completely online program, again, it's gonna be a higher demand for these office hours. So you guys need to find similar programs at your university. Again, find that out by speaking to alumni, not current students. If you speak to current students, they won't tell you because they're also applying for the same teaching assistantships. Speak to alumni and they'll be able to tell you which departments, which courses typically need a lot of teaching assistants. That's it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you want more tips on getting into master's programs and all these tips and tricks for going to master's programs, then consider subscribing because I have a lot of awesome content coming your way. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.